First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Welcome to WUFT News First at 5. I'm Alexa Herrera.
And I'm Chris Will. Thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news out of Marion County. Deputies have arrested 2 men in the murder of an Ocala man 3 months after his death.
Both suspects were taken into custody today. 17-year-old Da Vinci Dawson and 20-year-old Luis Figueroa Tirado are facing a first-degree murder charge. Back in June, investigators say the victim, 19-year-old Tyleek Christie, drove to Northwest 22nd Avenue to sell drugs. Detectives say Dawson approached and took off with the drugs while Tirado shot him. They say more shots were fired towards Christie's car by an unknown person. Deputies are still looking for that shooter. 2 other passengers were in the car and weren't hurt, and drove to the hospital where Christie later died. The 2 suspects are in the Marion County Jail with no bond.
And students in Gainesville have concerns, and they plan to bring those concerns to University President Ben Sasse, Gainesville Mayor Harvey Ward, and the University Senate tonight.
We're told students want to discuss safety concerns with University Avenue and recent housing woes with Sweetwater Euphoria apartment complexes.
WFT's Christina Santiago is live from the Rights Union to tell us exactly why things are coming together. Christina?
I'm Christina Santiago reporting live from the Rights Union, where at 7:30 the Gainesville Commission and the UF Student Senate will combine forces in a special meeting. According to the agenda, the purpose of this meeting is to discuss student transportation, traffic safety, housing, and sustainability. The official document has been released. It does not provide additional information regarding what these agenda items mean or what will be discussed. The meeting starts at 7:30 and hopefully we'll have a better understanding once the meeting is over. For now, we're live from the Rights Union. Christina Santiago, WUFT News.
School board officials are set to discuss a Gainesville high school club that has raised concerns. Back in August, some students say they received slips telling them to join Club Gain. Officials say the discreet club was created to help Black male students prepare for graduation. School leaders say the meeting had a diverse group of students and was voluntary, but many students said they felt forced and were expected to arrive on time. Nonetheless, the meeting may have violated state and federal laws about selecting students based on race. It starts tonight at 6.
An Alachua County teen is facing charges after investigators say she was the one responsible for the bomb threats that sent thousands of students home on Monday. Investigators say just after 6 Monday morning, they were contacted by administrators from Buchholz High and Kanapaha Middle Schools about bomb threats that were received by email. Both schools were evacuated and swept by bomb technicians and explosive detective dogs from UFPD. After several hours, both schools were deemed safe. Detectives traced the source of the threats to an 8th grader who attends Kanapaha Middle. They said she confessed to both the threats.
A Bellevue police officer is off the job after the department says he committed a number of crimes, which includes doing drugs. Bellevue Police and the Marion County Sheriff's Office began investigating Gregory Freeman earlier this month. A police report says Freeman was heard making threatening statements while on the job. After searching his home, investigators found meth and drug paraphernalia. Detectives say they also learned Freeman was accessing secure law enforcement databases and providing that information to third parties who weren't authorized to receive the info. Freeman resigned shortly after his arrest. I walked outside this morning and it almost feels like fall.
You know, that must mean something coming from the New Yorker. Julia, what can we look for the rest of this week?
You know, as we had this front move through, we did have that first preview of fall, which does kick off Saturday, and that low pressure system at the end of the week looking to kick that off as well. Seeing those showers, especially around Fort Pierce, and some severe thunderstorm warnings, but specifically around I-10, just some light showers. Nothing really here in Gainesville, but some sunny skies, and those temperatures sitting in the 80s, the upper 80s, 88 Gainesville, 87 for Stark, and even 83 for Palatka. And if you take a look outside, look at those blue skies with those clouds building up. We'll talk about why just a little bit later. Back to you.
City of Ocala residents' polls are still open to vote for the District 2 seat on the Ocala City Council. Democratic incumbent Ira Bethea Sr. is being challenged by Republican Reginald Landers Jr. According to Marion County's official website, out of more than 37,500 registered Ocala voters, only a little over 2,000 have cast their ballots. Almost all these voters collected are through mail-in ballots. You still have time to vote. Polls will close at 7 p.m. tonight.
The Southeastern Conference suspends 3 Florida football players for their matchup with Charlotte. WFT's Madison Walker joins us live from the Swamp. Madison, some key players will now miss the first half of Saturday's game.
Yeah, Chris, starting offensive lineman Damian George and Micah Mazuka, along with tight end Dante Zanders, will each miss the first half on Saturday. The SEC suspended the 3 Gators players for their role in a brawl at the end of Saturday's game, with Tennessee right behind me in the Swamp. The brawl started as Florida quarterback Graham Mertz was looking to run out the clock. That's when a Tennessee defender laid a hit on Mertz while he tried to take a knee. There was a lot of pushing and shoving, but it was the punching that got these guys in trouble. Florida head coach Billy Napier spoke prior to Monday's announcement from the SEC. He says it's a chance for the team to learn and to grow. Now it's
an opportunity for us to talk about composure and poise, ego, temper. Because look, I mean, football presents an opportunity to teach some of those things, right? That's not going to be the first time that you're going to be in an altercation. And look, you make a decision like that. We had multiple players that screwed up. They compromised the entire team.
Now, Tennessee also had one of their players suspended for the first half of their game on Saturday. Florida will be without 3 offensive starters against the Charlotte 49ers. Kickoff for that one is set for 7 p.m. Reporting live from the Swamp, Madison Walker, WUFT News.
Alachua County residents are tired of driving on rough roads. WUFT reporter Bailey Korinek shows us their concerns and just why they're frustrated.
Residents in the Windsor area are frustrated over poor road conditions. In county planning, relief may be years away, but the people we met want change now. Bumpy roads, speeding drivers, and crumbling asphalt. Alachua County residents in the Windsor area say they've had enough. County Road 234, also known as Windsor Road, is one of the many in the county that are tough to drive.
And it's going on 50 years since anything's been done to the road other than been drove on.
Others say conditions are now so bad you can't avoid the potholes.
I personally have ruined the front of my car by hitting potholes that you cannot see when they're filled with water or road debris.
And speeding drivers aren't making the problem any better. As you can see, the speed limit here is 30 miles an hour, but cars are constantly flying up and down this road, including semis, which are making the pothole issues even worse. Big trucks use the road as a shortcut and may exceed the 25-ton weight limit. Residents are frustrated the county doesn't seem to be able to do more.
I resemble as a man having a heart attack. I mean, you know, you can't wait till next year or next week to give him some help because he's fixing to die. And the road's in the shape with a man having a heart attack. It needs help now.
They say their emails, Facebook posts, and complaints at commission meetings haven't brought much change.
I mean, waiting 4 or 5 more years, I mean, come on. It's just, you know, it's just ridiculous, I think. It needs help now.
The county recently gave County Road 234 a 64% failing grade based on pavement conditions. I spoke with county engineer Ramon Gavarete today, who said the county is investing $252 million into the roadway system over the next 10 years. He said the road is part of a preservation project set to start in 2025. Live in the newsroom, Bailey Korinek, WUFT News.
Thank you, Bailey. First responders will soon be getting bonuses from the state of Florida when the governor says those bonuses will hit their pockets.
And voter registration is underway in the state, what Democrats are doing to try and win back power. All that and more when First at 5 returns.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Governor Ron DeSantis is recognizing first responders. On Monday, the Republican presidential candidate handed out checks to the group, which includes police officers and firefighters. DeSantis says the $1,000 bonuses are a way to bring up the morale in the field.
For the 3rd year in a row, authorized $1,000 bonuses for all of our police, fire, and EMTs. We're going to be hand delivering the first 40 of those checks right here today. The rest are going to be in the mail for people.
DeSantis started giving out the bonuses in 2020 as a way to recognize first responders' work during the pandemic. He also used it as a way to show support to police who were receiving criticism following the death of George Floyd.
Florida Democrats are working to regain momentum when it comes to voter registration. The party used National Voter Registration Day to raise awareness about the importance of casting your vote in local and state elections. According to stats from the State Division of Elections, there are more than 14 million active voters in the state, with Republicans outpacing Democrats by more than 500,000 voters.
After more than $3 million in upgrades, Gainesville's Forest Park is set to reopen this week. City officials plan to hold a ribbon-cutting ceremony for this park Saturday. Renovations for the park include new turf for the soccer fields, 2 sand volleyball and basketball courts, and 6 pickleball courts. A small and large dog park was also added. The park's been closed since February. The ribbon-cutting ceremony will take place at 10 a.m.
And if that weather we felt this morning sticks around, I might just have an excuse to go to that park, huh?
Julia, can we catch some sun this week?
Well, we are expecting a chance for showers, so you may have to change your plans around. We're watching a low pressure system sweep through South Florida throughout the end of this week. I'll track those storms after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Tracking those storms throughout Florida. Just behind this stationary front, we had some showers and some severe thunderstorm warnings, but here in Gainesville, really not seeing much, and just seeing those light showers, especially around Jacksonville and into Lake City around I-10. And if you take a look at our temperatures, currently sitting in the upper 80s, 87 in Gainesville, 86 Ocala, and even 85 for the Villages. Humidity dropping just a little bit, 44% here in Gainesville, 49 in Ocala, and 39 in High Springs, helping to give us just a lighter day outside, feeling just a little bit more like fall. And outside of our studios, seeing those blue skies, but some clouds as well, building up to some possible showers throughout this week. 87 degrees outside, and seeing those end of week showers lasting throughout the rest of this week. Starting with your Wednesday morning, those lows sitting in the upper 60s here in Gainesville, and even 68 for Ocala, so perfect morning to go for a walk and just get outside, enjoy the weather while you still can, because Wednesday afternoon we have that chance for some showers, especially around noon and around lunchtime. Highs in the upper 80s with those isolated showers likely. And if you take a look at our future radar, we are seeing those showers building up in interior Florida, specifically around Orlando Wednesday evening. And then after the stationary front kind of moves out, we see a low pressure system form for Thursday, and this is going to affect mostly around I-95. So we're seeing those severe storms kind of stay around the southeast, especially in Florida. And as we continue throughout the week, we are seeing that rainfall, future rain, till about less than an inch here in Gainesville. So really not that much, just enough to carry an umbrella with you while you can. And just, enjoy the outside weather while you can as well. For Thursday, sitting in the upper 80s as well. And for our muggy meter, staying pretty humid, but of course sweltering as those conditions kind of intensify with that low pressure system around Wednesday and even into Thursday. But Friday, it's getting back into more of those pleasant conditions and starting to get a preview of fall throughout the weekend. Saturday is, of course, when fall starts. So we are very excited to see those temperatures kind of dip just a little bit later this month. But of course, Wednesday through Friday, that chance for showers, especially because of that low pressure system. Saturday is the official start of fall, and we're looking at some cloudy skies. Temperatures rising again into the 90s by Monday with that chance for some more showers overall. And that's all we have for weather. On to Bradley Shimel with sports.
Coming up on WFT News, Florida football fans are still buzzing after last Saturday's dominant win over Tennessee. The Gators defense has played a major role in each game this season. I'll be talking all about this unit and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome into sports. I'm Bradley Shimel. Florida football fans are still ecstatic after last Saturday's win over previously ranked number 11 Tennessee. Just as they have all season long, the Gators dominated defensively last week against the Volunteers. Florida held Joe Milton and Tennessee's high-powered offense to under 350 total yards of offense. And defensive coordinator Austin Armstrong is officially the talk of the town. The 29-year-old has led a top 10 defensive unit through 3 weeks of the season, allowing 256 yards of total offense per game. Florida defensive back Devin Moore has credited Armstrong's ability to connect with players as a reason for the team's success.
The guy he is off the field. I mean, you feel me? He's like a best friend off the field. When you got a coach that you could connect to off the field and, I would say vibe with, we're going to play that much harder for a coach that you can really connect to.
Florida will look to keep leaning on their strong defense this Saturday against the Charlotte 49ers. And on the other side of the ball, Trevor Etienne has been named the National Running Back of the Week for his performance against Tennessee. Etienne rushed for a career-high 174 yards, while averaging 7.5 yards per carry. He'll look for another strong outing this Saturday against the 49ers, who have allowed 151 rushing yards per game this year. It might be only September, but the fall season of Florida baseball is almost upon us. Earlier today, D1 Baseball named 4 Gator players as top 100 college prospects. And who'll also be ranked number 1 other than the unicorn himself, Jack Caglione. The dual-threat pitcher is looking to lead his squad to the College World Series, this time with a goal of winning it all. Taking a look at some of the other Gators on the list, Colby Shelton comes in at number 49. Meanwhile, Brandon Neely is ranked at 66, and Luke Heyman comes in at 99. Despite losing talent to the draft and the transfer portal, the Gators are primed for another title run. Fans can get a first look at this year's squad on October 8th, when the team hosts its first day of practice. The Gators will face Georgia on October 27th and Stetson on November 5th in exhibition games. And they will wrap up fall in the Orange and Blue World Series in November. High school volleyball was in full swing last night, and it was a big night as Gainesville High School hosted PK Yonge. The Hurricanes, pictured in white, swept away the Blue Wave last night. Gainesville dominated PK Yonge in the first 2 sets and managed to hold on in the third to complete the sweep. This is the 3rd team they have swept in their last 4 matches, and they'll look for another when they host Buchholz this Wednesday. Taking a look at some of the other matches from last night, Wildwood defeated Hawthorne in 4 sets. Meanwhile, Chiefland swept Dixie County, and Baker County defeated Bradford to remain undefeated. Plans for the Tampa Bay Rays' new stadium are finally being put into motion. Earlier today, the team released renderings of a brand new stadium located in St. Petersburg. The city and the Pinellas County agreed on a proposed $1.3 billion ballpark that will feature a dome. The stadium is expected to open in 2028. That's it for sports. I'm Bradley Shimel.
Thanks, Brad. A little gator recently became an internet sensation after pictures emerged showing it was missing its entire top jaw.
But she now has a new home at Gatorland Park in Orlando after she was rescued by a Lake Sanford. Earlier this month, the alligator with her top jaw sliced off below the eyes was spotted by a park regular who took a picture and posted it on Facebook. She was caught Friday and moved to Gatorland Park in Orlando. Gatorland Park directors say her snout probably got sliced off by a boat propeller. They say most likely she's been living off things like frogs and snails. Gatorland wants folks to help name her. Some of the most notable suggestions: Jaws, Flapjack, Gumdrop, and finally, Hope.
A lot of good options there. I think I'm going to go with Jaws, though, on that one. Before we go, let's get one last check on the weather.
If you're planning on going outside, do so tonight because we are expecting those showers Wednesday through about Friday. And if you take a look, that low pressure system is going to keep us with those showers. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. BBC World News is next, and the PBS News Hour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WFT.org. Have a great night.